Hey, it's Sam here, and this is the Ajazz AK820 Pro. It's a 75% gasket-mounted tri-mode keyboard priced around $30 to $40 in the Asia region and around $60 in the US region. In the box, there's the user manual for the keyboard, a Type A to C charging cable, a switch and keycap puller, and a plastic cover to protect the keyboard. So, the keyboard only weighs 770 grams or 1.7 pounds because it's mostly plastic. On the top, you can see the 75% layout, and it does come with a knob on the top right to control volume and to navigate the small screen above the arrow keys. Here is the side profile of the keyboard with the cherry profile keycaps, and the height can be increased with the feet on the bottom. This is how the other side with the knob looks. On the front, there is an Ajazz logo here on the right, and on the back is where the Type-C port is located, which is slightly off-centered. On the bottom, there's 4 rubber feet, the 2 height adjustable feet, a magnetic slot for the 2.4 GHz USB dongle, the Windows and Mac OS toggle, and the tri-mode connection switch. The keyboard has per key RGB, and there's already 19 RGB modes pre-programmed onto the PCB. I'm cycling through a few modes here and they do look pretty good. Now, as for that small screen here, it displays the date, time, battery life, and other information about the keyboard. Besides that, you can also access other settings in here too, like configure the RGB, volume, and language. And if you get confused, just refer to the explanation in the manual. Not only that, the screen can also display a custom GIF or image. To access this function, you just need the Ajazz driver software for the keyboard. In the Screens tab, you can import GIFs and images from your computer and upload it to the screen here. Bigger files will take a longer time uploading to the keyboard, but once it's uploaded, it should look something like this. Here are some GIFs I've tried as well. The Ajazz driver software can configure the layers and keys too, set up macros, and allows you to really fine-tune the RGB effects to your liking. The RGB can even react to sound like an equalizer bar, which I admit is kind of fun to look at. Okay, moving on to the other stuff on the keyboard. The keycaps are cherry profile double shot PBT that are 1.3mm thick. The legends and color are decent, and for the price, I can't really complain. For the switches, mine has the Ajazz GIF linear switch. It actuates at 45 grams and bottoms out at 60 grams. It's a pretty good switch, and it also comes factory loop, so it is smooth out of the box. And if you want to change the switches, the PCB is 5-pin hot swap in a south-facing layout, so most switches on the market will fit. The stabilizers on the keyboard are plate mounted and they are looped and honestly really great already. You don't have to mod them or tune them anymore. So, to access the components and mods inside, you just need to remove the knob and pry open the case with a pry tool. The clips open up pretty easily, so you don't need a lot of force. And with the case open, there's only one cable connecting to the battery that needs to be unplugged. Alright, here is the top case, and it just has the clips that hold the keyboard together. In the bottom case, there's a piece of case foam and a huge piece of silicone sound dampener covering the 4000 mAh battery. There's also a PET film, IXPE switch pad, and Poron plate foam in between the plate and PCB. The polycarbonate plate and PCB both have flex cuts, so they provide a softer typing experience. Here you can also see the knob module and the small screen on the PCB. On the back, you can see the flex cuts on the PCB and all of the hot swap sockets used here. There's also the ribbon cable for the screen, the toggle switches, and the Type-C port. The keyboard is gasket mounted with these white silicone gaskets on the sides of the plate. Paired with the plate and PCB, it does flex a little when in use, as you can see. Okay, that was all of the parts and components inside. Now let's hear how this keyboard sounds. Here are my final thoughts on the Ajazz AK820 Pro. Honestly, it's a really great budget keyboard. It's packed with a lot of foam and even comes with a knob and screen. So if you're in the market for a budget mechanical keyboard, the AK820 Pro from Ajazz is a pretty solid choice. As usual, the keyboard will be linked in the description below for you, and that wraps it up for this video. Thanks to Epomaker for the keyboard, and thank you for watching. Leave a like on the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and remember to subscribe if you haven't. See you in the next one.